Hi everyone, welcome back to the Mom Romcom, your go-to podcast for everything motherhood, where we keep it real, relatable, and sometimes chaotic. I'm Gunjan and I'm Palak, and today we are going to talk about some of the best parenting advice we've received from our parents. Palak, now that I think of it, some of it make complete sense from day one. And some of it we rolled our eyes at. But now I can't just repeating it. So true, Palak. So let's dive into it. Okay, let's start with the first one, the one that really stuck with me. My mom told me that don't expect the baby to do things on your timeline. I think when we become new parents, we have a lot of expectations. And so did I during my maternity leave. I thought I'm going to have a blast and do so many things. But with all the diaper changes and all the late night feeds and so much going on, I lost track of everything. And that made me so anxious because days are passing by and things are not happening. And that's when my mom gave me the most beautiful advice, which actually stayed with me. She said that you don't decide what happens in the day, your baby does. So let them take the lead for now. And I think that has really stayed with me.
So true, Palak. I think that was somehow a similar case with me. Initially, when Ayan was born, I had very ambitious plans that I'm going to go backpacking, I'm going to go do hikes, I'm going to take him out and for long stroller walks. But things eventually don't work out as per our plans. It's the baby who decide how our day looks like. And I'm a big fan of traveling. Sadly, the first big travel that I was able to take with Ayan was on his first birthday. So imagine it took me 365 days to actually fulfill the biggest thing that was on my bucket list when my baby was a beautiful travel.
And I think that's a win for you because you finally get to do something. I think one thing that I was doing wrong was I was wanting to do everything and a lot every day. And the one thing that I thought I will do, which I was able to do, was travel. Before my maternity leave ended, I wanted to go. I wanted to take him to a beach. So I did that. And I think that is a big win for me. And I'm very happy about it. Maternity leave, I think we expect it's going to be fun and we're going to do so much. But I think we should take it as it goes.
So true. I think the key is always to have low expectations at the with postpartum. Keep it as realistic as possible. Yes, it does get frustrating that you're not able to do things that you plan. Yet I think we need to follow the cues of the baby. To what he says, just sometimes the smallest victory of the day can be just going out for a small walk in the stroller, and we just need to start appreciating that more and not pressurizing us with a long to-do list or a long ambitious list of things that we plan to. Absolutely. As babies are small, they're unpredictable, and we just need to accept let the way are. Yeah, yeah. So, Balab, that actually brings me to the second advice that my mom used to say very often. She used to say that rest, recover, and take all the time you need for your body to heal. And Palak, when Ayan was born, this is something very close to my heart. When I noticed a lot of pressure from people around me to return back to normal. And there was a lot of anxiety that I experienced at that time because naturally everybody becomes a parenting coach when you have a baby. And it was just my mom who kept telling me that it's okay, take your time. What's the hurry? You've given birth to a baby, and that's something massive. So honor your body. And it took me a while to actually accept that. And eventually, when I finally took the time to clean my body and bounce back, it was, of course, like a year later, not like the timeline that people expected me to. But that after that one entire year, I actually felt better because I gave my body the time it needed to recuperate.
And that's very important. I think what happens is right after giving birth, you see your stretch marks. Then there are people constantly telling you so many things because they are also observing, right? You've lost too much weight. I think that's what happened with me. Immediately after giving birth, I lost a lot of weight. I went back to how I used to look in college, which was fantastic in the beginning. But then I started eating, and when I started eating, yeah, breastfeeding, and then I was gaining my mommy pouch. It was visible. I was becoming again, I was gaining I was gaining some weight here and there, and that's when people started pointing it out. I think it's very sad that people expect moms to recover so quickly. I mean, it's a huge deal making a baby and then pushing with our fed body. And people, we need to cut some slack and we need to wait.
initiative of our own body and ourselves. And, we've raised the baby, we have, nourished the baby, we've breastfed them for, 1 year, 1 year. And, we've given them, we've been their primary source for
So
nutrition.
if anything else, like it is actually like things coming, the baby takes calcium from your bones, the DHA from your brain. It's a lot that you're giving on daily basis. And then when you expect a mom to just bounce back, I feel like just punching them in the face.
Yeah, I think bouncing back,
That is just it's emotion.
yeah, I think I totally agree with you on that. Bouncing back culture is something that I really want to cancel. That, this just needs to be out of internet and out of expectations from any mom. So the least we can do is, I think, as much as
Be supportive. Let them be. Let them wear the loose clothes they want to. Let just lie down in the bed, feed however they want, wherever they want. I think all the social stigmas about bouncing back and getting back to your normal routine should be cancelled. Absolutely.
true, true. So I think I wish, more people like my mom had given that advice to me about.
I think it takes a mom to see your inner shine because only they can. They know that you need to recover. The outer shine the world will see.
Yeah,
It takes a mom to see that. And now I can say that because I'm also a mom. So yeah, I think that's the most beautiful thing.
yeah. So I wish, there were more people like my mom who actually advised me to rest and recover. And I'm so glad today that I listened to my mom and I gave my body an year to rest, recover. And now I'm able to be on my feet, do things, do a job, had a side gig, and be okay and, manage a house only because, I gave my body that one full year to rest.
So that Gunjan brings me to the next one, which my mom says a lot and every day. You should keep your goals intact or have new ones, but don't forget yourself. I think this is also because there have been a million times in last whatever number of days, I went to her and I've told her that I want to quit my job because I can't do it. I was with him for 6 months and it's been 3 months since I started working and it's a lot to do. And she always tells me that, Palab, there have been people, there have been moms like me who lost themselves in motherhood, who completely gave away everything they had. And once the kids grow up and they leave the house, you are left with regret. And you keep replaying things in your mind that what if I had done this? What if I resumed work? Please don't do that yourself. You've worked for so long. You've built a career for self. Don't just drop it like that.
So true, Palak. That's actually a very emotional thing to say. And my mom used to say a similar thing. She used to say, love your baby, love them to bits, love them with all that you have, but don't forget to love yourself. Eventually, if you're pouring from an empty cup, you're who's nobody's going to come to refill your cup. It's just you who's going to have to take care of yourself so that you can take care of the baby. So yeah, I think loving yourself, the fact that we lose ourselves so much in motherhood, it's just I don't know. I don't understand why.
So it is very consuming and it's so beautiful. I think if given a choice in a heartbeat, I would choose leaving my job and just spending so much time with him. But yes, it does take a daily reminder, a pep talk, and so much of motivation to pick up that bag and leave home. And then in the evening, of course, you're rushing back.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm at work. All I do is I'm just counting hours to 5 p.m. Counting exactly my every hour. I'm just looking back at my watch and like, is it 5? Can I leave? Can I run back to my baby at home? So I think that's just a sad thing that workplace things are not scenarios are not very flexible for moms.
yeah, that is the. I think very recently, to this point, somebody told me that. No, actually, it was Indra Nooyi. I saw her video where she was saying that the work hours are designed for the man to work.
Yeah.
Since women entered the workforce, nobody changed it. Moms have entered workforce. So, being a mom is a full time job.
Yeah.
This their ability to do jobs. Yes, and that change has to come now. If not now, then when?
Yeah, and there's one more thing about working moms that is now that we're talking about it, it's stayed with me. Like when moms go out to work, they're called working moms. When dads go out to work, they're called dads. They are not called working dads. First, why are we? What is this disparity? What is the reason for this sort of contrasting comparison between the two genders? It just blows me out. Like, why is that?
But anyway, I think, yeah, your mom gave a very, that's a gender fight that we're getting into, I think, but it's very real. I agree with you. It hurts me, but this is how it has been for so many years.
I think the best thing that we can do is we need to keep reminding us that if you're, even if you're going with a very, mixed bag of feelings, we're going out each morning to work. We're doing it for our babies so that we can give them a better lifestyle, you give them a better schooling. Yes, so that tomorrow if they come up to us and ask something, we will never say no. We'll be able to give them what we'll try to say a yes. Yeah. So I think give them a right stay. Give look it for that. So I think on your low days, you just need to hang on to that thread of hope and keep reminding that to us.
So this brings me to the next one, which is that mom guilt is real. So be present where you are. I think this is a struggle that all moms have when you're at home and there's a lot of work happening at office. You're constantly thinking about that. And when you're at office, you are almost always thinking about the baby or your kid. And that becomes so tough. Like, it is so difficult to be present where you are. And that's when my mom always and always says that half here, half there is nowhere.
Yeah.
Either you're here or either you're there. And actually, when I started following this advice, the guilt, I would say, has reduced quite a lot.
I think this same thing is happening with me quite often. I find myself at work, and I always notice that there are I might be in a presentation and I might be prepping for a meeting, but my mind still has those 5 7 tabs open. I'm constantly thinking about, are we running short of diapers? Do I need to order the groceries? Are the wipes? Do we need to get more wipes? Did I order his monthly vitamins? Did he return for his school? Did his nap cut short? So I think the fact that gradually in the past few months where I've consciously made a decision to not thinking so much about what all is happening at home and trusting that my son is taken care of. There are grandparents, there's my husband, and a nanny. He's being taken care of, and it has helped me to be more present at work and just be a little less anxious. But
Yeah, I know. And that is what it takes. I think it is very important to have that support system at home where when you are stepping out, you know that your baby will be taken care of. Like, how you want to make sure that everything is done before they even ask. I think that is the kind of support system. Once we have it, we're able to step out. And for me, it's actually my mom who's taking care of Yog. So it works out really well because the other good thing is that she actually follows and understands my parenting style. So there is no clash. She respects what I want and how I want Yuk to be brought up. And all the small little instances of things that she would do, or how the kind of rhymes she would play to him, the kind of games she would play with him, all of that. In fact, the food, like what I think is healthy, she tries to understand and do the same for him.
and Panav, I think if you're talking about food, I think she's also raised you. She's raised your gestures sister. I think we take that for granted that our parents have brought us where we are, and the fact that they put their knowledge of food or whatever parenting that they've done with us, and the fact that they're so open to hearing our point of view and then doing a mixture of that so sweet that is it. At least I'm also so blessed with a great set of parents both sides that they're so open to feedback, to listening, and they're also like, I'm so fussy about not giving sugar or sweets, and the fact that they understand. They also have their own level of love that they express in the form of giving sweets to a child, but the fact that they listen is also great, because if you're talking few years before, grandparents didn't even budge. Yeah, I used to listen. So the fact that they're so
हमने बच्चे नहीं पाले क्या? That was also.
exactly. So the fact that the year doing things, we're doing jobs, we're doing a side,
Yeah.
yet we're doing this all for our babies. We're doing it for their future, and we're all doing this because we have a good support system. So
True. I think kudos to that.
yeah, I think, but
And that you both feel.
speaking of support, I think it brings me to the next one. The something that my mom, my sister, they used to say often, that it's okay to ask for help. I know, Palak, I've noticed that, as moms, especially we're raised so independently, we're raised to be ambitious. It has always been so tough for me to ask for help. And that's when my mother used to constantly say that, Beta, you're not made to do all this yourself. You're not supposed to have all the answers. And, and she told me it's okay to ask for help. And trust me, today, listening to that, I ask for help when it's needed, and I do that without guilt.
And that's a great thing. You know why? Because women, specifically girls, baby girls or teenage girls, they are raised to think that they should become independent now. At least nowadays with us, I think all of us were taught to be very independent. And that is why when you have to ask for help, you feel like, you feel incompetent. You feel incompetent.
Yeah.
And that is not the case. The baby is new for you, but the baby is also new for the family. They don't know what kind of help you need. So I think asking actually clarifies a lot in your head. Like I did, I asked people for help, and I think it has been great because people, they want to help. And especially when it is about a baby, they love helping. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think we need to be understanding of the fact that everyone out there is, there to help. It's just that they don't know how to. So till the time a mom doesn't tell an adult that, hey, okay, I'm feeding the baby, you can help me. As a mom-in-law, you could tell them, hey, you can help me in, changing the diapers. Yes, they're obviously more than willing to help. It's just that we just don't know how to ask. Yeah, we just don't know how to ask it. Maybe they are also afraid to, think that they might despite us interfering. Yeah, they might, feel uncomfortable. So I think that way is asking for help, big, green flag. I think you'll ask for help. Raising a giant needs a village. It does. And we're not made to this guilt to your alone. Yeah. Palak, I have been trying to do that alone with my husband for 2 years in Canada. It was tough. It was, I think tough is an understatement. Doing a job, sending the baby to daycare, doing laundry, cleaning the house, making three fresh meals a day, and three fresh meals for the husband and for me. It was insane, and it's something that I do not recommend. And it actually eventually made me realize that to be a more sane mom, to be revived, to be able to sustain my career, and to just have a good marriage and enjoy my life, I need to have a support system, which I don't have in Canada. So eventually, it brought me home, and yeah, I feel like my happiness data has gotten better. I'm less grumpy, and I think I'm able to spend more quality time with my child because I'm happy. My cup is and I'm a better mom. I think this one thing we really took care of here in India. Of course, there's so many this help available. You really for granted. But yes, I do, because now that I listen to you, honestly, like I did not have to do any of those things. Like food, meals were getting prepared, house was getting cleaned. I never had to worry about laundry. So that way, I feel I had those 6 months where I was just enjoying every little moment with Joke. Okay, so this brings me into the last one from my mom, where she would always tell me to eat healthy, to exercise, to never forget my supplements. I think she's one person who never forgets to call. I just, in fact, received a message like a few minutes ago where she's asking me, कि medicine का है ना तेरे पास अभी पूरा calcium, you have your calcium for the month na, because she was at a pharmacy. I think that's her. That's mom. That's mom for you. And every night, because I'm staying with her right now, she would come, she would actually open up, take out the two medicines, two supplements that I take with a glass of water and be like, Palak, jaldi se le le, abhi to tu sunane mein busy ho jayegi. She was so blessed, Palak. Yes, nobody can do that for me. Nobody. Only her. Yeah, so true, so true. I think, Palak, this is something that, all moms, all Indian or Punjabi moms are just so obsessed with what we eat, what goes in our tummy, what goes on the plate. So, but I somehow feel that's so important once you become a mom, because your diet, your what goes on your plate is directly proportional to how you feel. Like I've noticed that if I'm eating well, I don't feel drained. My energy levels are high, and trust me, when you have a toddler, the energy levels you need to match up to them, it's crazy. So you just can't go wrong on your supplements or your diet. And I think you would also notice this in a few months. I think when goes completely to solids, that kids actually start following you. Like if whatever that you're eating, they would want a bite of that. So you'd start being more mindful of what you're eating. Yes. I think that's very important when you start building a family. I think I would like to be like my mom when I become a toddler mom. Yeah, I think that's what I would say in terms of eating habits, the way she takes care of me, the way she takes care of him, like having clothes in place, food in place, supplements and whatnot. I think she's a go-to person for everything. everything.
So true. I think your mom is going to shed a tear or hearing this, watching his podcast. And so true. I think our mom-in-laws, all the moms that we have blessed with, I think they deserve that. This, yeah, that whatever you do, attitude that, they've been blessing us. Yeah. Yeah. And actually talking about the, gratitude, it just brings me to something that my parents keep on emphasizing that, marriage changes after you have a baby. Yeah, it requires work once you become parents. So I think Palak, once you become a mom and dad, you know, you switch from that husband wife version to a more like a team player sort of a thing. True. And when you're in that mode, I think there are days when you will have to show up for each other as well, which is extremely important.
Yes, because it is very frustrating. You're raising a tiny human being. It is a tough task to do. And I think between us, Saurabh and I, our marriage, I think, is doing fine, is mostly because of my mother in law. Because, every evening when Saurabh would be back from office, she would tell him, "Saurabh ने आज इतना किया, तू उसकी कोई help नहीं करता." And, she just make him realize that yes, he has to pull his socks, he has to do more at home. And I think every time we fight or we are in an argument, which happens in front of us sometimes, she would actually take my side. She understands that, the mom needs more in certain situations. And I think I like the whole roommate phase. I'm sure you must be going through it. The first year, me and my husband, we were in a absolutely roommate phase that, yeah, just 100% true. We are just two exhausted roommates and we are just doing everything we can that's possible in our capacity to make this tiny baby stay alive. Yeah, that's it. And I think Solomon and I have not had a good conversation in last 1 month. I think to have that one conversation, so many things have to be right. Like both of us should not be working. The nap time baby, the baby should not be around. Like either of us should not be busy in a home core or something. Like so many things have to be right for us to be able to have that one conversation. The permutation donation never matches. I tell us what you're talking about right now. I think I think Ayan is 3, almost about to be 3 in a month. And we happened to book couple tickets for a movie last week. And that was a night show at 11:15 p.m. We couldn't go because that's the one odd night Ayan decides to not sleep. And I think this little, yeah, he gets this little hunch that, we guys are going to do something fun with Adavite. And so I think the way out for that. Otherwise, in an ideal situation like this, we would have just given up and just get frustrated. But we still, we just laughed it off. And the next morning, we again made an effort that it's okay. We couldn't make it for a movie. Let's go for a coffee. Let's go for a movie. Let's go have movies in the car. So, yeah, I think again, yeah, just showing up, it was so important for each other. Yes, and that is what my mother-in-law would always push us. Ki weekend hai, go out for 2 hours, just 2 hours and come back. I will look after the baby. You just go. And I think that really helps. Because that half an hour conversation is good enough. Even if you don't do that, I notice that a lot of resentment builds that, because you subconsciously don't realize that, I actually, I don't know if that happened with you, but it happened with me that, I used to started hating my husband. Loki, like, Bisker then because he's getting more skate than me. Okay, this guy's 8 weekend cricket sessions, but I'm just doing pumping, feeling, burping, changing diapers. That's all I'm doing. And you know what the sad part is that even if you get time, for example, they tell you that they'll take care of the baby, you'll not have the heart to leave only. No, but they can't. It is they can't. So Pallav, that brings me to the last one for this episode. Don't be rude to other people's opinion, but follow your own cut. I think Pallav, you will definitely agree with me on this. Once you have a child, everybody around you somehow becomes a parenting coach and starts giving you unsolicited advice. And to this, I think my mom used to have classic advice that, listen to everyone. Don't be rude, not if needed. But at the end of the day, do what your gut says. Do what you know what's right for the baby. I think she's absolutely 100% right. Because I think motherhood is one such thing which everyone is going to have opinions on. So, how you feed, how you put them to sleep, how you bathe them, how you do their laundry, whatever you do, there will be 10 people who will give you opinions. So, which is fine. I think it becomes initially, I used to retaliate a little because, of course, the rebel inside me can't hear things. Of course, my baby, I know my rules, my gamla, my foods, that. But now I've also become very calm. I'll also do hanji, 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 hanji. And then you know what you want to do. You have that
Keep tip yours. You know, eventually, a few months into this motherhood be, you start understanding your baby so well that you know, okay, this is right for him. Even if an Masaji is coming and giving this advice, yeah, I'll smile, I will give her a hug. She'll go. She's here for a few hours. You still let her go home feeling okay that yes, I listen to her. But at the end of the day, if that's helpful, please feel free to learn from it. But it's not just do what please, right? Yeah.
So, guys, this brings us to the end of this episode where we spoke about some really interesting advices we got from our moms.
So I hope you liked all of them. And if you feel there's anything else that your parents said that could be a great advice for all the budding moms, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Until then, enjoy your parenting, be a great mom as you already are, and catch you in the next episode.
Happy momming!